Good morning, everybody. It's Barbara Reese from the Bronx, and I just rolled out of bed. Oh, I gotta drink my water. So, guys, basically, what I want to tell everybody is good morning, first of all. I hope everyone had a great night's sleep. Um, the message I was trying to make, display, translate, the message I was trying to get out there yesterday when I was on the train station, in the subway station, while the train was coming in, it was making a lot of noise, and it kind of, I said a lot of things that everything was from my heart, but more or less, there are other things that I needed to say that I was unable to say because of all the noise. I got a little, not distracted, I guess you could say, but my train of thought got cut short because I had to get in the train, and I guess that wasn't the best of time to talk about that, but it was a spur of the moment thing, and I really, really wanted to let people know that is suffering from mental illness that yes, I've been on disability for mental illness since 1997, and mine is basically, from going through traumatic things as a kid. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that just because someone is mentally ill doesn't mean that they're a bad person. It doesn't mean that they are not smart. It doesn't mean that they cannot live a normal, healthy, productive life. As a matter of fact, a lot of people aren't even aware that they suffer from certain mental illnesses, and this is a fact. You know, I believe also that it is we're dealing with a spiritual warfare. And what I mean by that is that sometimes when we don't take the time for ourselves and our spirituality, a lot of things fester within us that stem from our past, and it tries to put a damper on our productivity and how we look at the world, and can make things seem very negative and put us in a predicament mentally where it's hard for us to function. It doesn't have to be that way. I use my mental illness of what I've been diagnosed with. I've been diagnosed with major depression. Now, guys, do I seem depressed? No, because I could easily be depressed. I could easily be sad all the time because of all the things I've been through, especially the situation with my children, because my children are not in my life except for my Weedy Bee, and my Weedy Bee is the blessing beyond blessing. That's why I cherish him so much, because he is such a blessing. It's like God restored what the devil has taken. Not saying that any child replaces a child, no, but it filled a big gap in my heart that left me exposed, that left me just, it left me in a way that I didn't want to feel anything. And that is why I turned to drugs, which I don't use anymore, thank God. Yes, I am currently on methadone, but I'm gonna try to taper faster off of that, but where I'm comfortable and never going to relapse, you know. I easily relate to people that display multiple personality disorder, and I'm going to tell you why that is. Because I also have different ways about me, and I can express different personalities to whatever way I'm feeling. Like when I'm playing with my son, I'm actually like a child. That's why you always hear me sound so enthusiastic with him, because I feel like a little kid playing with him. But when I have to be an adult and protect him, that I am as well. So that's why I can relate to people who take on different personalities, because I also have those traits, absolutely. it has been a comfort and a defense mechanism for my brain to cope with. Sometimes I feel, like I said, like a little kid, but never irresponsible and never lacking in judgment as far as taking on something where my son could potentially, something could be harmful. No, it's not like I'm just, in a mindset of a child where I couldn't function and do the right thing in those terms, or in that kind of instance. But at the same time, when I play with him, like I said, I'm like a little child. And when I feel more in tune, like with my adult, I'm an adult. And I said this before in my other videos, way before in my other videos. I am not bound by any age. I feel as if I am everything in everything all in one. And it has been a comfort for me in the trauma that I experienced. Absolutely. Because I feel if I didn't have this mechanism of where I can relate to being a child and also at the same time being a responsible adult, I don't know what might have happened to me. I could have easily sank into a really deep depression, but it has been a source of comfort for me. Sometimes I feel like a tomboy. Sometimes I feel very feminine. Sometimes I feel, just different ways. And different circumstances throughout the day will bring on change. And each moment evolves within to the next. So, of course, when, different circumstances at hand change or evolve within the moment, let's say, like I said, I used this example before, analogy, metaphor, whatever you want to call it. Let's say you're having a great day and you're singing and you're dancing and you're just enjoying life, and all of a sudden you walk and you stub your toe. You're going to curse and say, son of a bitch, because that is a circumstance that brought you to that moment that changed the way you were just a moment ago. And that's circumstantial. And everything in life is circumstantial. The circumstances at hand and brought you to these moments to leave you feeling the way you feel in the present time. And sometimes past feelings can manifest in your mindset at the present moment. But it doesn't have to inhibit you from being productive. It's very important to be spiritual. It's very important to be physically active if you can. It's so important to use your imagination. I love to use my imagination. I never stop using my imagination. I love praying. I love just looking at things and just appreciating the smallest, littlest things, like when I look at a tree, or if I see the wind blowing, through the leaves, when I see the birds take flight, or when I feed the birds and I watch them eat, or just looking at, people walking with their children and hoping for the best for that child, little things like that, and just enjoying nature. A lot of people haven't had the time and the chance to enjoy God's creations. And when we're in tune with nature, it heals us. It really does. I have fed bees on my hand with no fear. No fear. We are the embodiment of spirits in the material world. Everything that is flesh has a spiritual counterpart. Everything. And anything that has a being has a spiritual counterpart. Anything with an essence has a spiritual counterpart. And we must stay in tune with our spiritual selves for healing and for preservation. How can we persevere if we're not spiritually healed? You know, it's just so important. Meditation, exercise, eating healthy, all of these things incorporate for a healthy lifestyle. You can't have one without the other, just like you can't have good without evil. But there has to be a balance within oneself to explore things within them that they enjoy. You know, maybe some people like to draw. Maybe some people like to dance. Well, dance and draw. Take the time. I know sometimes in this busy life, that's what it is. People are just so busy. They don't take the time for themselves to heal because they're so busy trying to help others. And that in itself is healing, but you have to help yourself in order to help others. You can't run yourself ragged. And this happens to me all the time. I run myself ragged. But for me, even when I do that, I try to take even a second or two just to breathe, just to drink some water and just thank God for the day, and just look out the window and watch the feral cats, and hoping that they have a meal and feed them when I can. Just little things like that are just so important. I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea and think that because certain people have certain mental illnesses, that means that they're incapable of living a productive life. That is not true. Absolutely can live a productive life. You just have to stay in tune with your spiritual self and take care of yourself. And love is the answer. Let's just love each other and stop the hate. The hate festers, and it's like a cancer, and it contaminates and it eats people alive. Hate is not good. Yes, there is the balance. There is a balance of these things. And there must be a balance of these things. But I've said this before, the scales are way off. We can change that. And yes, there cannot be one without the other. You can't have good without evil, because how would we ever know what good was? But let me give you a little analogy. Let's say that someone is doing a good deed, right? And it is frowned upon. Okay, so here it is, this person's doing a good deed, but someone is frowning upon it. And you look past that and say, you know what, I know I'm doing something right. I know I'm doing something good. This is for a good cause. Like sometimes, like, if I give money to the homeless, people will look at that and be like, oh, how, why? And you have to think to yourself, well, there is that balance. There is that good versus evil. And you pray for that person and say, open their eyes. So hopefully their eyes will be opened and they can see and feel the good of doing good for others. Because I could easily get upset with them and say, how dare you judge me for helping somebody else? And then you see it's like a domino effect. Now here it is, I was doing something good, and now I'm upset. The other person is already set in their ways. But instead, just pray for those people that have such narrow mindsets that they can't see past that spectrum of negativity. If you can understand where I'm coming from. And I just woke up, so this is all off the top of my head. I just want people to be kind to one another. I know it's not going to be lollipops and rainbows and butterflies and unicorns and all of that jazz. But just to do little random acts of kindness and to take the time to care for the next person, even if it's buying them a cup of coffee. God sees your good works. That's all that matters. It doesn't need to be seen by man. It doesn't need to be praised by man. And if mankind doesn't see the goodness in you, just like I said, pray for them. That they might come to terms with themselves. Because obviously, if someone frowns upon you helping another person, obviously there's something fundamentally not right with them inside. They're hurting. And they have to be. Or they're bitter. Or they've been raised in a way which is not right. How can anyone frown upon a person helping another individual, whether the person put themselves in that situation or not? We're all human beings. We all deserve love and care and affection. We all deserve these things. Nobody's exempt from deserving to be treated with respect. Now, one thing I will say. There are a breed of people that are animals. Anyone who lays their hand on a child, I don't look at them the same as the rest of the human race. Those people need an exorcism. And I'm sorry, that's my opinion. I feel that it's a spiritual battle. Anyone who can lay their hands on an innocent child in any shape, way, or form, physically or mentally badger or molest a child, they need spiritual warfare. They need someone to come in like a warrior and put their hands on them and pray for them that they change their ways, because it's to me, it's like a demon that latches onto these people. Absolutely. And I know some people aren't going to understand that, but I'm very spiritually attuned, and I will tell you that I know for a fact that it is absolutely spiritual when people lay their hands on children. It is an evil spirit. They use them as a conduit. It's a demon. No human in their right mind would consciously want to hurt a child. We are made in the image of the Most High. God did not make us like that. Now, this is a very deep subject matter, and I'll get into that another time. But guys, you have to know that I am in tune, especially with the spiritual realm. And I'll leave it as that. It's 18 minutes already. I hope everyone has a blessed day, and I hope I got my point across in the right perspective, in the right manner this time, without any distractions, okay? So everyone, have a blessed day. And thank you for everybody who's been reaching out to me. Thank you so much, Kim. You have been so kind to me. Thank you so much. And I love you, Dee Dee. I love you so much, my sister. I know you always try to protect me, and I was trying to protect you. We only had each other. Remember, it was me and you. Through those tough times when we were kids. My little Reese's Buttercup. Alright, everyone have a blessed day. Stay positive. Stay prayed up. Jesus loves you. Ciao.